You hear that? That buzzing? It doesn't stay on consistently, but when it's on, I feel electric charge in my gut. It's as if someone's deliberately pressing a button and creating that effect. People keep suggesting it has to do with ink, some kind of ink. What kind of ink? How can ink do this? Of course, right now, I'm in the process of uploading the previous videos. And so I guess this is supposed to act as a deterrent for me not doing that. So as soon as that uploads, I'm going to just leave. But I'm not sweeping this under the rug. I'm not letting this go unreported. I'm not doing it, you know. So. And I do not believe I'm the only one who have experienced this. I believe lots of people have been poisoned with something that makes them electroconductive or radiation conductive in their gut, and then they died of pancreas problem, or they died of loss of vital bacteria in their gut, or ileus, you know, if I'm saying that right, which is kind of a blockage in the gut. I mean, there's, you know, something to do with the digestive tract, lower, you know, or upper, and and the only reason why I'm probably not dead right now is because not only did I live with this researcher of the University of Michigan health system, who works over there in that building. It's hard to see through the window, but it's the Kellogg's Eye Institute. You can't see it because of the reflection here, but you know, I lived with him for about 8 months, and so it's like, well, you know, metabolomics, it has to do with the metabolism. You know, he didn't talk much. I found him curious, and I wanted to know more about him, so I studied the subject a little bit. And so, what a coincidence, you know. I live with a researcher who specializes in that, and then after he has me kicked out of our shared apartment unlawfully, I find out that I have arsenic in my system. I have mercury, I have lead, and I have cadmium, which is a electroconductive metal that is used in rechargeable batteries. And then I'm having these symptoms. I didn't have them living with him. I had other symptoms living with him. Overheating and over-dehydrating and electrolyte imbalance and low potassium, you know, almost deathly low, in fact, almost lethally low. So I was told by professionals at the other hospital here in Ann Arbor, St. Joseph Mercy of Ann Arbor. and then it's just perpetuated. You know, everyone, or there's a large group of people who know, and so they stalk you and they find opportunities to poison your food or your drink, and then they use their cell devices on you, or more sophisticated equipment on you, or law enforcement use whatever they have on you. Now I find doctors use what they have on you. Um, and this is primarily done against the homeless. Um, and that shelter, Delana Shelter Center, is primarily responsible for this. They coordinate the poisoning of, you know, undesirable homeless people. I guess Ann Arbor. Think about it. Is money here? They don't want homeless people downtown. Um, and since this is the only homeless shelter in about a 60 or 70-mile radius, they get an influx of a lot of homeless people from the neighboring cities of that radius, and they feel like it's unfair that they get that influx, and no other city is doing something to contribute to homelessness, um, and so they can't do anything about it because they can't turn people away. They have to put them on a waiting list, which right now is about 2 to 3 months, and it's always has been for the past 2 years. Um, but then they don't have a set amount of time that uh, that you can stay there. Every person's situation is, is different, and that's because the money that they get from the federal government requires that they make the absolute best effort to place the homeless residents in that shelter in more permanent housing. But that could take a long time, especially when there's a shortage of it in a place like Ann Arbor, Michigan. So it seems like how they've been mitigating their problem of accepting more money from the federal government than they can actually um, use to place people in home and housing here, because there's a shortage of housing. All of a sudden, people just disappear, or they die from strange, unexplainable circumstances, or they're set up to OD on their addiction. It's just so very easy to get rid of people who are down on their luck, people who are poor, people who are homeless, people who are drug addicts. Um, the list goes on, and this is how it's done here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I swear to God, this is what money and intelligence comes together and does. Um, it doesn't build up from the ground. It just consumes the weaker and less privileged. You can believe it or not. I'm just giving you my experience and my sight here in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the past 2 years.